Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all who have come to my channel, The Official Sacred Sensuality, where I am your host, the Mademoiselle Sugar. I wanted to do an ancestral message, but before I proceed, I want to take the time to apologize to anyone who had been looking forward to these messages. I did receive a few emails regarding some of the ancestral messages that I had given. And some of you guys are really looking forward to. So I do apologize. Please accept my apology. I really needed a sabbatical for myself. I am a corporate girly, as I have mentioned to you guys before. In addition to that, I do run a business on the side, and I manage 3 calendars. And I just do a lot. So I needed this time to myself, and I needed to go out of town, basically, which is what I did, and kind of relax. So I do apologize if you guys had been looking forward to these messages. Please accept my apologies. Next time, I promise I will definitely let you guys know beforehand. I am glad, though, however, that these messages have been helpful to some of you guys. So I'm recording now. I am actually still in Dallas. I'm getting ready to leave in a little while, and I wanted to record something for you guys. And this ancestral message, I had been been heavy on me for the last couple of days while I was here. And so I finally just sat down and decided to do it. So once again, the disclaimer, please, please, please exercise your discernment. These messages, although it is said it is for entertainment purposes only, you have your own mind. You know how to exercise it, okay? So if it applies, it applies. If it doesn't, let it fly. The ancestors had a lot to say. They've been bugging me, so I'm going to start off with this one. And of course, I am reading from my deck that I am still developing. And they basically, let me situate my microphone. I do apologize, you guys. I want you guys to be able to hear me thoroughly. Okay, so yes, the first message that flew out, once again, was called Sit a While. It just basically means sit down and take in some wisdom. For some of you guys, that wisdom can be a multitude of many things. You've heard me mention before this card. For me, it came up as a child when I was growing up on the south side of Chicago. A lot of my neighbors are from the south. And so they would say all these southern sayings that I just could not understand for a while, because I was like, what the heck do you mean sit a while, or sit a spell, and things like that. But I understood as I got older what those things meant. So basically they're saying they want you to slow down and take in some wisdom. Whatever that wisdom could be for any of you guys, please take it in, because I feel that they are trying to speak to you through that wisdom. Okay, you may find yourself needing some meditation, some alone time to, I'm feeling for some of you, just remember or place yourself in a space where, let's say if your grandmother, grandfather, whoever had passed, they transitioned, right? You may want to sit down and tap into that. If you're having a dilemma, which I could see for some of you guys, according to these cards, that some of you may, you may want to take this time right now to ask yourself, if grandmother was here, if grandfather was here, if sister, whoever was here, what would they say in the situation? What would they do? Allow yourself to use that mental space specifically for them so that they can channel a message to you. Okay, that's typically what I do, and it helps tremendously. Once you start putting that into practice, you'll actually find yourself receiving messages from them quicker and even more. They are really on your side, you guys. Your ancestors are really, really, really on your side. Payback. And I think this is why they want you to sit down, because they're putting something They're fighting for you, if that makes sense. They're putting something into motion for you. Consequences are returning. Karma is a cycle. What goes around comes around. And they say it is time to settle accounts. If you felt you were done wrong, overlooked, ignored, dismissed, whatever, or even feel as if there's something heavy, which I did feel. Many of you could feel like there's something heavy. And from what I did gather from these cards, there could be a money situation for many of you guys, or a financial burden that may be either coming up or you're trying to process and deal with right now. They're trying to settle those accounts for you, like quite literally. and I love that for you. For some of you, it could be like a tax debt. You may find yourself being forgiven for taxes or having to pay a lower amount. It could be any type of debt, honestly, but they are trying to settle accounts for you on your behalf. Allow them. Once again, as I always mention, when it comes to ancestral readings, you have to ask for their permission. You have to ask them to intercede on your behalf if you need assistance. You must call upon your benevolent ancestors, okay? Your benevolent ancestors. Not every ancestor has your good intentions at heart, but there are those that really genuinely, they want to help you, and they're just waiting for you to say, hey, I need some help. Send that signal out to the heavens, to the ancestral realm. It will reach them, okay? They're settling these accounts because they're trying to get you to become a magnet, okay? If you have found yourself at some point feeling as if you couldn't attract the things that you wanted, for instance, you've been applying for jobs, or you've been trying to move or do many, many things, and it's always something that is in the way, or an obstacle, or something. I'm seeing actually people, or someone, should I say, trying to get to the bus and they missed the bus and they missed the job interview. That's a very specific message. But if you found yourself in situations like that, where it's always something that is in the way, or you feel as if you're not getting what you may be putting in the work, but you're not getting the results that you want. They're trying to make you become a magnet. So I do believe that, and I don't believe it, I know it, with them wanting you to sit down and rest, take in some wisdom. Let them do a little bit of work for you. Let them meet you halfway. You are going to start attracting all the things that you need. It may come in slowly. It may not come in that fast. But as you're going to start attracting these things. And for some of you, something about August 23rd, which is what, next Tuesday, Wednesday. Is it? Not this week, the week after. Tuesday, I wanted to say, or Wednesday. Something about the 23rd. In the meantime, while you are in the process of attracting things, if you are a person who does, esoteric things, whether that's, lighting your candles, doing your spiritual work, praying, whatever, this is a time they want you to use to refine your approach. Refine, whether that's your resume, whether that is your credit, something. They want you to refine it, because when it's going to be time for you to use those things, to use those tools, you are going to get better results. Now, what I found interesting is this. The Knight of Coins came out. This confirms exactly what I just said. Many of you have started something and you have not seen the results that you want to see. And what clarified that is a hangman. So you're tired of waiting. I get it. I am too. You could have been waiting for a long time, and I feel like for some of you, you could have been very, very patient. The Nine of Coins energy is all about exercising that patience and applying all the skills that you have to get where it is you have to go. That includes, skills is not just what you know. Skills is also what you are willing to learn, right? That's a skill. Being able to be teachable is an actual skill. And I feel that for many of you, you could have been doing your research, you could have been trying to gather your resources, all types of things, and you've been waiting and you've seen nothing, or you've seen very little. The waiting period was so that you could see things from different angles. Okay? In my spiritual science, Lukumi, we have Ilegwa Echu, right? Ilegwa Echu teaches us that we are to, he's what some would consider a trickster spirit. When Christianity was brought over, they made him into the devil. He is not the devil, not at all, not at all. There's two sides to him, but he does open roads. The thing is, when you're waiting for those roads to open, you guys, you are supposed to look at everything in as much detail as possible so that you can prepare for whatever outcome it is. You do not attach yourself to an outcome. You are in preparation mentally for whatever outcome that you have. One thing I've learned about Echu, he has that hangman energy, right? So when I'm in that hangman energy, I try my best to look at everything from different perspectives, even if that's, if I feel like I've been slighted by someone, I am looking at what could have been their thought process. What is it that I did? Of course, I am a huge accountability person. I'm taking accountability for my part, but what was their thought process? What was it about me at that time that made them want to do what they wanted to do? So even when I'm wronged, I'm looking at it from their perspective. Now, that does not excuse their behavior, not at all. But I feel that with this energy, you guys are to look at every detail that you can, because I'm feeling for some of you, there's some things that you missed. There's some things that you miss. And I know that when you guys go ahead and you start and you sit down in this wisdom like the ancestors are telling you to, when your eyes are going to be open, you're going to start saying, oh my goodness, all of those things that I missed were right there all along. How did I not see that? Give yourself grace, first of all, because sometimes, it's things can happen in hindsight, right? However, when you see that, once you're going to put all of those things together, I do believe it's going to lead you up to a type of happiness. For some of you, this could also be like a fracture in home life, whether that's any type of relationship. There's something that you've been waiting on, that you're trying to get to that happy state. You want to get to that happy state, right? But in order to get to the happy state, you guys, you have to start embodying it. You want it so bad, right? So embody it. That's what you need to do at this time. Because the Four of Wands it's about home, it's about family, it's about marriage, it's about commitments, it's about, coming together. Sometimes the coming together is all inside. Maybe your heart needs to catch up with your mind. Maybe your mind needs to catch up with your soul. Sometimes our soul knows things that we haven't the slightest clue about, right? Once those things come together, I do feel that for many of you, that unfulfillment that you may have felt in some areas of your life is going to start coming back. I also pulled something else, and I believe I pulled this a couple of weeks ago on a reading. Baby, hush your mouth. That means they want you to stop talking before you make things worse. Who have you been talking to? Have you said something? I'm getting a feeling of some of you may have said something to somebody, and you could have said to yourself, did I expose too much information? Can I trust them? If you felt that you were absolutely right, if you had to question whether you were able to trust them, or you exposed too much information. Your body already knew something. Your body already knew that there was something about that person's energy that was not trusting at that time. But don't worry, because it's not stopping your manifesting. But they're saying from now on, shut the hell up. Okay? Don't tell anyone your plans. And I know that this is like the second time I'm giving this message, because I did have this message in the ancestral reading weeks back. This is not stopping your manifesting, okay? Once again, give yourself grace. Don't say nothing else, because your words are very powerful right now. Even if you have doubts about a seed that you planted, don't speak it. Don't speak it. You can think it, you can feel it, you're entitled to that. I am not one of those people who say, oh, don't think it because then it's going to happen. No, allow yourself to think it. It's okay. Then redirect those thoughts. That's how you do that, right? So this is a time, especially astrologically, and I always encourage you guys to look at your birth chart. It is your map. I always encourage you as much as I can. If you feel you need a personal reading, you don't have to come to me, but please go to a trusted reader, or someone that you know who's not going to give your information out, your business out, right? There's something happening in the skies that you guys need to watch, okay? I always talk about Lori. Her name is Lunatic Astrology. She's such a great astrologer. She's always talking about what's going on in the skies. There's a lot happening right now. And this is the best time, or one of the best times, to manifest, especially in this Leo season. The sun is in Leo, right? Leo is the sun, okay? This is a time where the attention is to be on you, all right? That means you are requesting that divine intervention to come through. And it's funny because this card was on the bottom of the deck next to me. This is time for you to request that divine intervention, that you receive the clarity that you need, that your plans go through, that things are revealed to you in due time so that you know the moves that you should be making. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Say it to the east. Say it to the east at sunrise. Do you understand what I'm saying? Say it to the east at sunrise. Put in that action and you make it fucking happen. It's as simple as that, you guys. It's as simple as that. Ancestors are aggressive. I'm feeling attitude here. I'm feeling like go get it attitude. Now I'm loving it, but it's kind of aggressive. You are going to be placed at a crossroads soon. There's going to be life-changing decisions, important choices that you have to make, which is why they want you to sit the hell down and get some wisdom. Because your next step, your next moves are so important. They want you to know too, if you've been feeling stuck, that was temporary. They're saying you are not done. You are literally just getting started. And I love that for you guys, because sometimes we need a jump start, like a car. We need a jump start. We get a little tired, right? A battery runs out. You're just getting started. I also pulled here, excuse me. This is also a time for you to be very self-aware. Okay? If you feel you have been under an illusion of some sort, including the illusions of your own behavior, because sometimes we can do that. We can do that. We don't see that we've done wrong, or wasn't 100% authentic in something, right? Cut through those illusions. They want you to detach from your ego. I always talk about ego too. Ego is very, very important. Everyone has one. We have to have one. It is a part of our self-esteem. It is a part of our confidence. However, the ego must be fed correctly. But right now they want you to detach from it. That does not mean humble yourself and and don't give yourself the credit for the things that you have accomplished. It's just right now, that's what you have to do in order to get to your next step, because that ego is going to get in the way. And I feel that for many of you, it's going to get in the way because you got all these good things that's getting ready to happen for you. Warning, there's a hidden truth that many of you guys don't know. Okay? They want you to trust your instincts. And that goes back to me saying when I just said how if you felt that you may have divulged a little bit too much information to someone, that could even be online. You know, we say things that we don't think about it, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot I told this person that. Just be careful with your words. Be careful with your words. Be careful who you tell things to, because not everyone has your good intentions at heart, okay? But there's a hidden truth, but it's going to be revealed. We'll get to that in a minute. The Tower is the first tarot card. It doesn't mean for everybody this is chaos. It can mean an epiphany, a sudden idea, a realization, right? It can mean an upheaval for some. It can mean destruction for some. But that's not really what I'm getting. I'm getting something for many of you. There's a bright freaking idea that you may have. Like ding, 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 back to that connecting those dots, right? Back to connecting those dots, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't see this. Remember we just spoke about that? Well, the Tower can indicate that as well, because right next to the Tower that's clarifying it is the Two of Wands, and that goes right back to standing at a crossroads, which tells me, in addition to that, there may be a surprise that is coming up for you guys that you may not have been expecting. And I feel that if you have done what I just told you, which is detaching from the outcome and releasing that ego, detaching from the ego, you're going to put yourself in the Eight of Swords, because your ego probably has been used to running things. And it's okay. It's okay. It's all a learning lesson, right? Be gentle with yourself. The Eight of Swords is self-inflicted distress, mental distress. You may have found yourself needing to make a few decisions and not knowing exactly where to go. And the decisions could be, you know, I'm feeling not really like bad things, right? It can be, do I want to take this job that is closer? Or do I want to take this job that is farther, but I make more money? Something like that, right? You have to find out which one works for you, both economically and, just as well as common sense, right? And locally. So for some of you, be careful with that when you're at that crossroads, because the 8, you do have 2 8s. You also have repeating numbers, which tells me that you guys are in a very strong transition. You're changing. There's things changing for you. And for some of you, it can be changing a little bit too rapidly. You're not used to it because you were so used to things just kind of being like, just kind of stuck, right? Now, if you are in that 8 of Swords energy, that's another thing I feel that's a warning. Because I also have the Two of Swords, which talks about lack of making a decision. Once again, being at a crossroads, failing to make a decision, allowing the universe to make one for you. While that can be okay for sometimes, it's not okay all the time, because if we've asked the universe, God, our ancestors, whoever, for something specific, you need to act on it, right? Now, be careful with those thoughts, because the 8 is looping. We're also in the 8th month, right? Look at the number 8. It is the infinity signal, right? In a vertical way. Don't let those thoughts loop you. You can't get lost in those thoughts, and it will stop you. It will quite literally halt you from making the decision that you know you need to make. And I feel that for some of you, you won't allow that to happen, which is good. Which is good, because the next card that comes right after that is the Chariot. And the Chariot is all about taking control. It is about taking control. It is about saying, hey, this is the decision that I'm making. This is what I am doing. I am in control, and I'm going to go full speed ahead, and I know the exact direction that I want to go into, right? When you do that, there's going to be a lot of rapid movement, you guys, because I have the Eight of Wands right after that. That's so beautiful. That means messages, emails, text messages, movement in general, traveling, a plethora of movement for you. Once you start making those moves, you're going to be placing yourself in that Queen of Pentacles energy. Now, I love the Queen of Pentacles. She's that Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. Very stable, very grounded, very nurturing, very much I am business-like, but I'm still beautiful. I'm still sensitive. I'm still seductive. I am still sensual, right? Nurturing is a sensual quality. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles have. She's also the Queen of the money in the deck. The Queen of stability, the Queen of resources. You may find yourself with all these choices that you had to make, right? The clarity that has come through, the movement that you needed to do. You may find yourself in a position to where you feel more stable, more grounded. The thoughts are no longer looping. There's no more indecision. There's no more chaos. Sit in that moment for a minute. Sit in that moment for a minute, okay? That's what the ancestors are telling me right now. They want you to sit in that. Absorb it. But I would like for you to do something in addition to that. Give gratitude. The Queen of Pentacles energy is not the type of energy that you play with. It's energy that has been through hell for some. It is energy that is, I went through a lot of trials to get where I've got here. And I am finally stable. I am finally back in control of my life and my resources and things that I can control. That's when your ego is supposed to come back to you. When you give that gratitude, you're reminding your ego, I am not always in control. When I release the outcome, when I release the control, these are the good things that happen to me. That groundedness. Who doesn't want to be stable, right? So make sure you give gratitude and allow your ego to slowly come back in. With that Queen of Pentacles energy, you're going to be free to work, quite literally for some of you guys, quite literally. You're going to be put in a position to where you may feel you have to prove your worth. And as with any job, any employer, you do. Even when you're running a business. For example, in my case, I have to prove my worth all the time. A lot of people look at me and they think, oh, she's just pretty, she's just cute, because I am a goofball. She's a goofball, or she's too serious, or they see all these different sides in me, different people. But they don't know I have to work just as much, if not as hard as they do. And for some of you, you may have the same, you may have to go through the same thing. It's a slight initiation, honestly. It is a form of spiritual initiation in the sense that you are showing your spirits, your ancestors, that you're willing to put in the work to get to where you got to go. You're not lazy at all. And you're also, showing others that may not know, that may start getting glimpses of, oh my God, you're really not an asshole. You're really not a bitch. You're really a nice person. You really worked hard. Oh my God, I didn't know you came from the gutter. I didn't know you came from the ghetto. I didn't know you came from the what are they called? The trailers, You're putting in the work to get to where you have to go. Once again, Give gratitude for that work. Sometimes all we need is a chance to prove ourselves, is a chance to say, I am willing to put in the work, and not just that with the Seven of Pentacles. It's about being consistent. Yeah, because that's what the Queen of Pentacles does. She's not just, that's just stability. She has to maintain that. And many of you guys need to prove that you are able to consistently maintain the blessings that you're getting. Ending this reading, they say, baby, keep living life. It will teach you what you don't yet understand. This ties into everything, meaning that you cannot stop your decisions. You cannot stop your rest. You cannot stop the wisdom that is coming through. All of this is because you are supposed to not just learn, but understand yourself, understand them, understand your purpose. And for many of you guys, you have wealth coming up. When I tapped into this energy was more so focused, I feel, on very strong stability, money, jobs, businesses, investments, whatever it is that you're trying to do as far as your own material abundance. It's not just about that, but it's also about the investment into yourself. With the Knight of Pentacles that I pulled, he's often, all of the knights are, a student of some sort, right? The Knight of Pentacles can be very intellectual. He likes to learn things at a pace that's suitable to him, right? So once again, that's the Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. As a Virgo sun, Capricorn rising, I can attest to that. It took me years to get my degrees. It took me years to get my certifications. It took me years to prove myself to be where I am at in my corporation. It took me years to build. I'm still building my business while working and working businesses and doing and being a mom and community work and all that other stuff, right? I am also investing in myself by doing all of those things. So for some of you, this could simply mean going back to school. This could simply mean, investing in that skincare product that you want, investing in your health. Health is wealth, you guys. Health is wealth. It's also about investing into your career too, because for some of you, you may have those degrees. The Queen of Pentacles is by far not an uneducated woman at all, at all. She's a woman of high value, and her value isn't just in what she looks like. It is who she is, because she embodies that she is. I am going to go out and get my stability. And I can attest to that because I literally do carry that energy. I wanted stability. I wanted to be able to go to the grocery store and not have to look into my account 50 million times. Now, I'm a natural budgeter, but I don't want to keep doing that. I want to know that it's okay for me to go out on a Friday night and spend $150 on drinks, and I'll be okay, right? So for many of you, this is about long-term career planning, long-term business planning, long-term investment into yourself, because there's wealth waiting for you. And for many of you, you have a big payday coming up, honey. A big payday. And we're going to get into that a little bit deeper soon too. This says financial rewards, money rolling in, celebration of success, check cashed. Isn't that funny? You got payback from a different deck, and you have payday from the What's the Tea deck. Isn't that interesting? They are also saying what you find may not be what you expect, but what you truly need. And once again, this message keeps coming out in ancestral readings. And going back to that Tower card that I pulled before, the light bulb moment, sudden realization, feeling inspired, insightful awareness. So during this Leo season, I feel for some of you, the next 2 weeks are going to be very, very pivotal. Your creativity could be reignited again. And I do believe I did have the Ace of Wands. I'll find that out when I spread these cards that came out. So you may be feeling inspired again. And I am hoping that for those who are listening to this message and you have made it this far into the message, that you really are inspired, that this message inspires you, because these are things that are waiting on you. These are things that's ready to start coming to light. Like you planted the seed already. You planted the seed already, because now think about it. The Page of Pentacles is before the Knight of Pentacles. The pages plant the seeds, right? The Knight of Pentacles carries the seeds. The Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles are a result of those seeds. You've become a result of those seeds. Now, this one was interesting to me. At times end. These are the cards that I normally pull for warnings. They want you to understand, from what I'm getting here, that time is of the essence, in a sense that no, you don't have to rush, but you must make timely decisions. Nothing is sitting on the shelf waiting for you. Absolutely nothing. You have to work to get it somehow, even if that's spiritual work, right? Spiritual work for many could just be simply a prayer. Time is not waiting for anyone. So if you planted a seed, and you let it sit there and you didn't go back and you didn't water it, I believe this is the time you need to go back and water it. Okay? Now let's sit these cards. Now let's see what we got going on here, because you guys got a lot of major arcanas, which I was like, whoa, they wouldn't stop coming out. Like I pulled damn near half the deck, which is telling me that the ancestors had a lot to say. And you've got a lot of people that came out too. So you've got family members on the other side that they're involved. Like I'm feeling for many of you, it's like many of the family members that you loved and you revered in real life, they're involved. Excuse me. The Devil card. What have you been bonded to that made you regret something? This could be a habit. This could be a person. This could be negative thinking. It could be anything. Because for some of you, it yielded a regret with the Five of Cups right next to it. It's time to come out of that energy. Not only did it yield a regret, it yielded an inner battle with the Five of Wands. It also yielded you feeling left out in the cold, feeling and a poverty of some type. This is not literal poverty, although for some it could mean that, but a poverty of some type. This could be feeling emotionally shut out by something, right? It could be feeling like everyone is getting advanced except for you. Everybody is being seen except for you. This is the time. That's funny that I have these 3 5s. This is the time right now for you guys to embrace that change. It's not the time for you to sit in regret and fighting yourself and feeling left out in the cold. You have to find your footing again. Know where you went wrong. Know where you went wrong. Own it and say, give yourself some grace. Okay, this happened. And of course it's always easier said than done, but own it. And then when you own it and you move ahead, you move the way you're supposed to move. Because with the 5 of coins energy, that's sitting in it. Remember, Pentacles, well, the 5 of coins / Pentacles, that's slow movement. Get out of it. Like I'm literally yelling it because they're yelling it to me. Get out of it. Get out of the 5 of coins energy. Because the 5 of coins to me signifies when you're sitting in it for so long, to me, it reminds me of quicksand. How it's like a slow death, right? I don't want you guys feeling like you're killing a part of your spirit slowly. It's time to get out of it. Throw up the red flag and say, this is where I've screwed up. I own it. I am ready to move on to calmer waters within myself. And when I move into those calmer waters within myself, I am now going to walk away from the things that have that I let sabotage me. I've done with my own self-sabotage. I am going to reflect on it briefly. I am going to tap into my intuition with the moon card here. Let me see what else did I pull out. Give me 1 second, because this is telling a very coherent story. Give me 1 second. Let me lay all of these out. I got to put 2 down. Didn't mean to do that. I'm running out of room here because there's literally so many cards. I am going to tap into my inner intuition, tap into my inner knowing, tap into my energy, and I am going to own it. It's okay to feel emotional about these things because you have the King of Cups right here next to it. So it's okay. You just have to be in control of those emotions in a healthy way. Don't suppress them, you guys, because that is something that the King of Cups can do. He can repress them if they're not handled the correct way, right? A healthy King of Cups says, let's say for instance, you really are in love with someone and you've been withholding that information, right? Don't withhold that shit. Why are you withholding it? Me, I never understood that, but that's a different subject. Don't withhold it. Tell them, look, this is going back to the cards I see here. I'm walking away from these bad habits. And I want you to know I'm leaving all of that behind. I am so sorry for doing what I've done, because the King of Cups, he owns the emotional damage that he does too when he's in a healthy state. He says, I know the damage that I caused was improper. I want to apologize for it. And I would really like to know if you want to go ahead, because I am really, really in love with you. I really have these feelings for you, this deep affection for you. I want you, right? That's just an example. And this could be with anything in your life. The King of the King of Cups is basically saying, own it, move forward in a very mature manner, because he thinks with both his head and his heart when he's in a healthy state. And right next to it is the Seven of Swords. In this reading, is not about lying at all. It's not about deception at all. Now, for those of you who may have felt deceived, and we're going back to the beginning of the reading, when I said that they were trying to settle scores for you, that's the ancestors. They're settling those liars and those scores. Let them do what they need to do, because they didn't want to go into this with that, right? They are saying here, you own those. You've got those emotions under control. You're good. You're in a healthy emotional space. Strategize, move forward, and place new seeds. So plant new seeds with the Ace of Coins here, because you're going to be given a chance. You guys, do you understand what the Ace of Coins? I love the Ace of Coins. I do. As a Pentacle coin born girl with the Capricorn rising and the Virgo sun, I love me some coins. I love me some pentacles. I mean, who doesn't, right? Because it signifies stability. It signifies stability, and you're being given a chance because you strategized the proper way. You didn't waste any freaking time. To me, the Cups is that summer energy. The Swords is more like that winter, springish, a little bit energy. But I'm feeling a span of 2 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. It's driving me crazy. Something over the next 2 weeks that is going to allow you a chance. It's going to open a door for you to start over or to start something new. That's that Ace. Take it. When you take it, reflect, because we do have the Hermit card here. That does not mean go into isolation. It means now it's time for you to think like a Virgo, because the Hermit is the card of Virgos. And as a Virgo, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you a little insight of our world. When a Virgo falls back, and we know we need to, we reflect, right? For some of us, like when I was younger, I used to reflect for a long time, sometimes for years. And there are times that I've had to do that, even as, older adult. But I don't feel that this is the case. Something in the spring is going to happen, I'm just told. So I don't feel that that is the case. This reflection is a reflection that says, I am turning all outside noise off. I'm turning it off. I'm going to think. I'm going to think about this for a little bit. I'm going to give a little bit of gratitude for being here in this space, for being able to think clearly and have the clarification and receiving the additional clarification that I need, for developing new perspectives from being given this opportunity, and asking to exercise judgment in the right way on my next move, because the next move is the Fool. Taking chances, trusting yourself, trusting your spirit team, and taking chances, starting over. You've got so many start over cards, so many start new cards. I love this for you guys. And when you start over, you're going to be in that page energy with this new ace that's coming. You're going to be in that page energy, and there's nothing wrong with that, because like I said, the pages usually signify children or planting seeds. You're planting a seed of not just thought, but it's also a seed of observation, not just observation of the outside, it's also observation of yourself, keeping that lens on yourself as well. That self accountability, that's the word I'm looking for. That self accountability, right? Because right after that, there's going to be an offer. Either you're going to be making an offer, or somebody's going to be making an offer to you. For some, it could be an offer in love. For some, it could be an offer of, like I said, that new job, that new beginning. What's also interesting here too is that when you do that, when that offer comes, or you've received it, you are signifying that there's an end, there's a final end with the World card. The World card is the last card in the tarot deck in the major arcana. And the World card is about ending. It is ending that part of your world that kept you stuck and stagnant and possibly even self-sabotaged, or others have sabotaged you. Is coming out of that energy, starting new. You're being given judgment. You've been giving, I think this is a gift, in my opinion. You're going to be given the gift to make right decisions. And you have your ancestral team right there supporting you. Because when I do ancestral readings and I pull the judgment card, that reminds me of ancestral court along with the justice card. It reminds me of a high-ranking elder, ancestral elder, or even a ascended being that is giving you a part of their gift. And with that gift, you're clear. You're saying you've got that confidence that, how do I describe it? Because I'm losing my words here. Let's put it in these words. You ever stalled on a decision and you didn't trust yourself? That's what I'm getting. That self-trust is coming back. Think of all the greats, the spiritual greats, the gurus. They trust themselves, man. They trust themselves. Even those who have come before, like Reverend Sun Yun Moon. I don't know if some of you guys remember that from back in the day. Reverend Sun Yun Moon said he was Jesus. And I don't know how, but he got a lot of followers somehow. I think he was from, I want to say South Korea, one of the Koreas, I don't know. But he got a lot of followers, and people really did believe that he was Jesus. That's a serious belief in yourself, man. You can't get no deluded than that, right? Sometimes you have to get that delusional with yourself and say, I trust myself to make the right decisions. And at that point, it's not even a delusion, it's a truth. Because the judgment is about truth. Now, next to that truth is a new spark, a passion, creativity, sex for some. But I'm really getting a passion, a strong passion, a passion to be more discerning, and even a passion to return to life before it got too hard for you. a passion to return to what you may have felt was innocence. For some of you, this is an actual person with the Six of Cups here. This could be a person who you've known, whether it was in your youth or your I'm getting for some of you, your 20s. The Queen of Swords is she's exercising that discernment. This could also symbolize the person that you may be going back to for some of you guys, if this is a person. This could be a person who you could have had some type of falling out with, and you may see them in this extreme, I'm not even going to say extreme. You may view it as extreme, although it may not be. They're just in there. You may have placed them in a position to be so discerning when it came to you, or vice versa, to be so discerning when it came to you that if you were to come back, you had to come back with some substance. Yeah. You have to come back. You have to come back to this person with some substance. You have to come back with a tangible offer. This can also signify a boss. It doesn't have to be a female. It can also be a male, or a masculine or a feminine. This could be returning to a job that you used to have, returning to an old passion that you used to have. Some of you, I'm getting painting or drawing or some kind of creative works. Media as well. Media. I don't know why that's sticking out. But this is a return for, I feel for many of you, you may feel that it is a return to how life was before you felt that it became a little bit more difficult. And I really do feel that the ancestors are saying here, you don't want to necessarily return to that state. You want to develop that state, especially if this is a person, right? So let's say this is a person, and we always say this when we want a person back. Oh, I just want things to go back to the way they were. No, we don't. Because if we go back to the way they were, we're going to be right back where we are again, and it's going to end all over again, and we're going to keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again. No. What you want is something more substantial, something more developed, someone that you can grow with. You know, you can still want that person for who they were, as far as like the basic things, you know, them always being open-minded, them always being sweet, you know, things like that. But you want them in a more mature state, meaning you have to get in that mature state too, because that's what the Queen of Swords is about. She's mature. She's very mature. She doesn't fuck around. And she's very smart. Smarter than most people would give her credit for. So, I'm ending this reading by saying that the ancestors are definitely on your side. A lot of you guys are about to come into some type of wealth. And for some, it's just hitting me now. This could be a wealth of love, a wealth of returning to a person that you really admire, you really adore. And they still more than likely adore you. They still more than likely look at you with the same lens. However, you've been given two aces. The Ace of Pentacles, which is about stability, or the Ace of Coins, and the Ace of Staffs, or the Ace of Wands, which is passion. So if this is a person, bring them both stability and passion. For some, I'm hearing that they actually deserve this. And for once, it feels good not having to read from the other side and looking at it through their lens. So, which tells me that your ancestors may know that some of you aren't angels too. And that's fine. You know, no one's perfect. But that is pretty much the end of your reading, guys. Expect good news, I believe, for many of you in the next 2 weeks. And please don't hesitate. Don't be scared to call upon your people to intercede on your behalf. You just never know what miracles they can do for you. I am a testament to that. Before you work with any spirits, you should always, always, always be working with those who came before you, because they've lived this life. They are the wisdom. Let's not forget that. In that wisdom, sit your ass down. call them forward and take it in. That is the end of your reading, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff that YouTubers say. And I do hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.